Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to the JMOR Tech Talk show, and we'll be starting momentarily. This is the place to ask those questions about PCs, technology, challenges with your iPhone, perhaps pairing it to your car, or maybe those smart devices that are supposed to make life easier at home or in the office, but just don't seem to. And now, please help me welcome the CEO and founder of the JMOR Connection Incorporated and the star of tonight's show, Mr. John C. Morley. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the JMOR Tech Talk show, right here on the Starcom Radio Network. Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern to 9:57 p.m. You can catch us Thursday nights weekly, and then our replay in the morning. And then we also have our most of our shows are available by visiting jmor.com. You can just go to /social or just go to social on the website, and then go to JMOR Radio, and then you'll see a link for previously recorded episodes, and that'll take you to our YouTube channel. Technology, technology, technology. That's what we are about. So there's been a lot of interesting things happening in the news. First thing I want to talk about is the fact of the iPhones that started to... They actually didn't start to explode, but what actually happened, ladies and gentlemen, is the iPhone actually started to, swell the battery. And so it got a little bit of a misconception because everyone was saying that the battery, that it was exploding, but really the batteries were basically kind of the words, and I'll use the quote they used, they were bursting out of the smartphones. So this happened, they came from Asia, North America, Europe, and they showed pictures of swelling batteries, pushing the screens out of the Apple's new devices. So Apple is supposedly looking into these complaints. Some of the phones are swelling was the new iPhone 8 Plus smartphones, which had broke some of them, apparently. And there were at least 5 reports of the new 5.5-inch iPhone 8 Plus smartphone. So the iPhone 8 and 5.5 reports on the iPhone 8 Plus with deformed phones due to swelling batteries. So these reports span from Hong Kong, Japan, Taiwan, Canada, and Greece. And they all had similar characteristics or symptoms that were giving us the impression that there was probably a single batch of bad devices off the production line. The Apple spokesperson, and I quote, said, "The company was looking into the issues. Some of the devices were reportedly collected by mobile phone operator partners for investigation." Close quote. And I quote again, "This is not the first time Apple had batteries swell within new devices. The company manufactures and sells between 40 million and 80 million iPhones a quarter, a volume that means isolated issues are likely, whether it be to manufacturing defects or problems during shipping." Close quote. And so the saga starts, and that's why when we had the Galaxy and now the iPhone, and whenever you try to buy any batteries overseas, they hit you with a nice large fee because they claim they are dangerous. Yeah, so it's not just a moneymaker, ladies and gentlemen. There is seriously an issue that they're concerned about, and that's why they charge you that exorbitant fee when you're ordering batteries overseas. But they claim that Apple is taking care of it. I did get my new 8 Plus just last Friday. And to tell you a little story about it, I got my iPhone. Everything went well. Had my phone all backed up, which I always do. But there was one particular problem. First problem was I had upgraded to 11.1 on my phone, my old 7 Plus. Had my backup. Now, my new phone did not have 11.1 on it, so guess what that meant? I had to restore my... Basically, I could not restore my 11.0 backup to that phone. I had to upgrade that phone to 11.1. Once I did that, I was able to restore my iPhone backup without any hitch. The only thing is it did not restore my custom ringtones. Not a big deal. I spent some time rebuilding my custom iTunes iPhone rings that I built myself and loaded those on later on. So that was the only thing that didn't come over. And obviously you know that if you have any Wi-Fi devices or if you have any Bluetooth pairing, such as with your car or any type of headphones, that information is also not going to transfer over from one device to another device. And it's because the profile is specific. It actually pairs to a hardware device profile, and that's why they can't do that. So I got my iPhone 8 Plus. I got it. The phone was a little more than half charged, so that was a nice surprise. It took me, ladies and gentlemen, and I kid you not, over an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half to activate my phone. Why is that? Well, Verizon's servers were down, and I was not able to activate my phone for quite a while. It was a little bit frustrating. The new phone did come with a new SIM chip, so that was great. And the other thing I wanted to explain to you, and I think I mentioned in the last show, is always make sure before you give up your phone, you have to do two things. First of all, to activate the new phone, you have to turn off Find My iPhone, which is pretty easy to do under Settings and iCloud and turn off iPhone. And then you have to have your password or link to your finger biometric so that you can disable it. If you don't have your, your Apple ID password, then you have to reset that. So that was the one thing. And the second thing is make sure that you do a secure erase on your phone. And again, I just want to review how to do that. It's really easy. You can just get onto your phone very quickly and very, very simply. And all you need to do is you can go to your settings area right on your phone. You can just swipe to that and just swipe down where it says search. You can type in the word erase. Just at the top, just go ahead and type erase. And then it says erase all contents and settings. And once you do that, you have a screen that says reset, erase all content in settings. And it says, it'll basically tell you to agree, and you have to type a word. And once you do that, then your phone starts erasing your data. And this way, when you turn the phone in, it's basically doesn't have any user data or configurations on the phone. But do remember to take out your SIM card, because your SIM card still has some information about you, which is basically the number, which is not really directly to you, but it can still be linked through the account. So all in all, I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've been very happy with my iPhone 8 Plus. I really like it a lot. I find it to be a lot faster. Being very honest with you. The new chip, I love the new chip. The phone boots up, I think, probably 50% or more faster, which is great. I don't see the phone freezing, and just today, I believe just today, they released 11.1, which is supposed to get rid of some bugs. Namely, there was a big one, which was audio crackling, and that's why they had released 11.1. I really didn't notice any of these issues. I had streamed some videos, I had some songs on it, and I didn't have any problems, to be honest with you, at all. I hope, though, that Apple has gotten the bugs out, and that we're not going to see, like other companies do, like they do, basically they do a patch, they do release Tuesday and then patch Friday, right? I hope Apple's going to have a stable product. I hope. And I can tell you that the quality of the device is pretty amazing. I mean, the way they built it, I noticed from holding this phone to my other phone, just the feel of it, it feels like it's made a little bit better. You do know about the camera we talked about. It's a better camera. It has portrait mode on the one side in the iPhone 8 Plus. I find that the phone has a better accelerometer and controls of the phone, so this way when I position it or move it, it's very responsive to my touch. When I touch the screen, it almost always pretty much responds to me, and I don't have to really worry about anything. The swipes are pretty easy. Again, I think it works really, really well. Swiping from left to right, you can pull down very easily when you pull down, just like any other phones. That gives you basically all your alerts that you may or may not have been paying attention to. So you can do that really, really easily. And I also found that I think the new iPhone 8 Plus actually seems to use less battery power. My battery seems to be lasting longer. Now, obviously, new batteries always last longer than older batteries, but I still feel that it does last longer than my old, iPhone 7 Plus. The good thing is that the battery, like I said, that was one thing, but the other great thing is that the casing is pretty much the same. So when I was using an OtterBox case to protect the phone, and it has the little protective screen, in the front. So you have it actually comes with the top, and then it has the bottom. Okay, and so you put the one piece on, and you basically put the phone on. There's actually three pieces it comes with. One is the plastic piece you put on there, then the second piece of the back, and then the third piece is the actual top. So that's how that works. So really, what it's like is you have your bottom, which is where the phone, you have the thing that sits in a little piece of, it's like a plastic casing, and I think they did a really good job with that. I liked it before. I had no problems with it. So you don't have to spend money, ladies and gentlemen, on getting a new type of case, because your iPhone 7 Plus case will work with your iPhone 8 Plus. Isn't that great? I mean, that's wonderful news, right? So you save yourself $49 or $59, or a little less if you've gone online and tried to purchase it online. So that's all I want to say about the iPhone 8. I mean, like I said, I do like it. I know that a lot of people are on the fence about whether to get a new phone. I've talked to people for quite a while since I got my phone. I tell everybody I like it, and they're like, oh, I'm going to wait till mine goes dead, or I don't feel like doing it because I'm going to have to keep paying money, and, I own my phone, and I'm just going to keep it till it dies. All right, well, the other thing I was telling you before, why do you want to upgrade? Well, first of all, the reason for upgrading is, one, your phone's going to be faster. Wi-Fi services, Bluetooth, all these devices that transmit and receive, even though they don't have any moving component parts, they fail. Sending, I noticed that the wireless on my new phone is a lot more responsive than it was on my old phone, especially when you use Wi-Fi a lot. I also find that my signal to the wireless carrier is actually better now. Again, the transmitters and receivers in your phone, they go bad. Light bulbs go bad, right? So that's why it's important. The other reason is that getting the new phone, you're getting a faster phone, obviously, but you're getting a phone that has greater connectivity to the networks that you could potentially be on, such as your cellular network, or if you have a Bluetooth device, or your Wi-Fi enabled the network. I just find when I walk outside and I have it set up to some of the networks like Optimum and Xfinity, it just joins those networks really quick, no issues, and I don't have to try even a second time. The only problem I did have was with my bank, and actually the problem was that when I had upgraded the phone, everything went very smoothly, but one of the things that did not transfer over were my passwords. Now, because I did my phone with biometrics on some of these bank sites, well, because I did that, the application was not able, it was more of a security thing, I believe. When I tried to log in, the app would just freeze. It didn't say that it couldn't read my finger. It just pretty much, it read it, but then it just kept going around in circles and circles. I rebooted, it didn't work. So I deleted the app, which deleted all my data, and I put the app back in, and I was able to connect fine. So that was the only little bit of a pain in the neck. Some of the other apps that I logged into, whether it be Amazon, etc., they didn't have my information stored, because, again, all that was destroyed when, I went to a new phone. That's not stored on your iPhone iTunes profile for your backup. So, that's the important thing. So the first thing you want to do, so the reason you want to upgrade is because you're going to have a faster, more reliable phone. You're going to have a battery that's going to last longer because of the device being more efficient on the wireless aspect as well as the Bluetooth aspect. That means if you use cordless headphones, or use other devices, or maybe you use things that could check your EKG, they're enabled by Bluetooth. And if you have something that's an older Bluetooth technology, it's going to drain your battery a lot faster. So that's my 2 cents about the iPhone. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, you stay right where you are. Brian's telling me that we need to go to a quick commercial, and I'll be right back after this break. Computers always slow at your home or office. Pop-ups always appearing. setting up smart devices like your iPhone, thermostats, downloading apps, and much more. Mention code JRC001 and receive a PC tweak for only $49.99. New clients only, please. Visit JMOR.com now. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the JMOR Tech Talk show right here on the Starcom Radio Network. Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern to 9:57 p.m. And if you're wondering why we're not taking your calls, there's actually a reason for that. We are in the process of upgrading our phone system, and we should have that complete, I am told, within the next week or two. We're just waiting for a few other things, and our studio is waiting for a couple other parts to come in, and once that comes in, we will be taking your calls right on the air here live at the phone number we usually give you. So that's why we're not taking your calls right now. We're actually getting a brand new system that's going to be able to digitize your calls a lot better, so there's like no static, real clear conversation, and just going to work really well. So even when we play the recordings back, it's just going to be great. It's all digital, so the only analog basically coming in is from your phone, but we immediately digitize it, and it stays digital the entire way, even once it's recorded. So we take it from your analog phone or what have you, and then we take it right to digital. So, this is what's happening when we talk about technology, whether we're talking about the iPhone or we're talking about the new 10X. Technology is here to make our lives easier. That's why technology is here. It's not here to control the world. It's not here to, make us lazy. Technology is here to enhance and improve the quality of our life. Now, notice I didn't say quantity. I said quality. That's right. If you can live your life going forward from here on out, let's say the show stops at 9:57, and from 9:58 for the rest of your life, for every minute, okay, once this show ends and coming back to future shows, if you can decide to live your life with every minute being the highest level of quality, not only are you going to be more productive in the things that you attempt and that you accomplish, okay, but you're actually going to have more of a magnetism to drawing other people into you, because you're going to have a wow factor that is just going to drive people, not insane, but it's going to create a very unique curiosity to wonder, gee, what's making him tick? What's making her tick? How are they doing that? And it's all by adopting one little simple principle. Enjoy life for the moment for which it is in. Enjoy every moment. This minute, the next minute. Don't worry about tomorrow's minute. Just worry about the minute that we're in right now. And try to have the best, highest quality possible life that you can have by giving all your attention and all of your desire to that 1 minute. And if we live life with that kind of attention, with that kind of enthusiasm, oh my gosh, the things that we can do are pretty much going to make you speechless. And just try it. I mean, you don't have to do it for your life, but do this. When the show ends, starting the next day, and you want to go right to bed, probably had a long day, you get up in the morning, and just remember what John said. Take every moment of your life and start to live each minute in the highest possible way. So think of it like this. Let's think that you only had 10 minutes left, and you've got to live those 10 minutes the best way you can, and keep living the next 10 minutes. And when you put that quality in, see, the problem is everybody gets so lazy. Because like, oh, it didn't work, this didn't happen. And I see it all the time. They bring themselves down because of their attitude. Our life is really about the people and the company we keep. So if we keep people that are of not a high quality, and I'm not trying to be discriminating here, but let's be honest, if we hang around people that do not have that high quality, two things are going to happen. One, it's going to bring us down, okay? Secondly, it's going to stifle any attempt or possibility of us reaching any goals. And third, it is just going to drain our energy. So all we're going to want to do is just put our feet up and just rest. And there are millions of people, ladies and gentlemen, that go through life like that every day. But if you could choose to be an active person, okay, I'm not saying you have to run a marathon every day, but if you could just choose to be active with your brain and with your mind and understand that those different thoughts, and you've heard me say this before, the Earl, Knight, and Conant productions, we become what we think about most often. Our thoughts become a reality. If we change our mind, okay, we change our thoughts, okay, we change our mind. We change our mind, we actually improve the quality of our life. So if we change our words, we change our thoughts. We change our thoughts, we change our mind. And that will, in fact, improve the quality, not the quantity, but the quality. And here's another interesting little conundrum here. When we improve the quality of our life, it's going to seem like we have more time. Why? Because we're more productive. We're using more resources, and we're using them in a manner in which they should be. A lot of times, people don't even use 1% of their brain. In fact, the average human being doesn't even use 1 to 2% of their brain. If we could just tap into 10% of our brain, maybe even another 3% of our brain, do you know what that would do? I mean, that would just change us from like light years. And it all starts with this one important premise, which is that your life is the reason. Your life is the reason. And if you have that premise that your life is the reason you want to stay healthy, the reason you want to stay motivated, there's so much stuff you can do. I get so pumped on this. And it all starts with the thought. Now, it starts with the thought, but you do have to take action, obviously. But the thoughts are going to attract you to other things that are just going to naturally kind of just appear into your life. So it's kind of like you're a magnet and you're attracting these good things in your life. That's really what it's about. And if you take that premise and you take the point that starting tomorrow or starting at 10 o'clock tonight or what have you, you're going to make a commitment to yourself that for the next week, I'm going to live every minute of my life to the highest possible level of integrity and quality. And I'm going to make sure that I keep myself accountable for that. And if you can do that, maybe you say, John, a week is too long. Okay, fine. Why don't you just promise yourself you'll do it for a day or two? And one thing I can tell you is if you put the time and the energy in making every minute count in your life, the minutes after that are going to count. The minutes after that count. The half hours, the hours, the days are going to count. And you are going to be a magnet that's going to draw positivity into your life. And you're going to attract those people into your life that have a similar vibration. I don't want to get too into this, but I know we got a little off track, but it's just important that you do live your life with that kind of quality. With the tech show, we seem to learn stuff about people, about reality, and that's just kind of how things go. It's just an added bonus. So getting back onto the tech stuff, cars. Yeah. Cars, if you've noticed, ladies and gentlemen, they're starting to get more technology in them. Unfortunately, is the technology that's starting to be pioneered, designed, installed, created in cars and vehicles, perhaps maybe starting to distract drivers? I think so. If we make things voice activated, that's great. But we need to make sure that the voice activated stuff really works the way it's supposed to work. How many times do you say, oh, gee, I don't want to do that because the voice activated doesn't work so well? Voice activated technology is better than it was, but it needs to be better. When they put things like knobs or these kind of controls in, they're all great. But what's it going to do? It's going to get you to take your eye off the road for a second. I mean, you wouldn't go tuning your radio station, while you're driving a car, you wouldn't try to tune your radio station, but you would maybe say in the voice command, XM radio channel 33, XM radio 21, XM radio love songs, XM radio sports station, XM radio 70s, 80s, whatever. And that happens very quickly, very easily, and I never have to touch the radio. If every piece of technology were designed with the level of quality and integrity that it could be the best possible, then we could truly start to have technology be a cornerstone to making changes in our reality that will actually affect other people's reality and their worlds. That's what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. The problem is everyone's always trying to make technology and make a fast buck, but they don't really care about how it's impacting and socially and economic, the economy or the people, and what are the ramifications if somebody gets addicted to the technology and now it causes them to get distracted on the road or causes them to be distracted. It needs to be simple enough, and you can't be using your hands when you're driving. I'm sorry. I mean, anybody that has technology that allows people to make controls. I mean, I think the car makers should make these controls that, I mean, I understand the air conditioner you have to touch and things like that, but I mean, like the radio and other things, you shouldn't be able to touch these kind of offline things while you're driving. They should be inaccessible. One thing Apple did, which is kind of neat, they have a thing called the Do Not Disturb mode. If you put your phone in Do Not Disturb starting in version 11.0 and higher, somebody texts you, it automatically can tell that person that you're driving and that you'll get back to them later. One of the things I do when I'm driving is I never touch my phone, but the nice thing my car has, it has the ability to read text. So I can literally say to my car's automated voice response system, read text, and then she's automatically going to talk to Siri. So by me holding down my button for like 3 seconds, it bypasses my car's AVR system and goes and talks right to Siri. And then she'll beep. That's the only time she'll beep, indicating she's waiting for you to talk to her. Because you'll know that they actually got rid of the beep quite a while ago. You're like, well, why doesn't she beep anymore? There's no need to beep. But everybody was so confused with that. Now everybody's kind of used to it, and it's like a non-issue now. So that's what happens. And technology like that works. Like I can ask her what the weather is and things like that. And I don't have to go taking my hands off the wheel. And that's the most important thing. So when I'm texting and somebody texts me, I don't ever text by picking up the phone. Read text. You have one new message. Expecting you at this time. Would you like to reply to Michael? Yes. What would you like to say to Michael? Michael, I'm running 5 minutes behind. Meet me such and such. I never had to take my hands off the wheel. I stayed focused on my wheel. I stayed focused on the pattern in front of me, my driving path, and I stayed safe the entire time. All this technology that's out there, again, was not designed with the social responsibility of our world. Probably saying, well, gee, it's people's responsibility. Okay, I get it, ladies and gentlemen. It is our own responsibility to make the right decisions. But shouldn't manufacturers have a responsibility that things like that shouldn't even be coming to the market or to production? Right? There's a right way and a wrong way to use technology, but shouldn't they make it more difficult so that it can't be used when you're driving? Or so that only voice commands can be used? I mean, Siri, if you ask her for something, she's like, I can't show you that while you're driving, or something like that. You'll have to, you can't do that or you can't use that feature while you're driving. That's great. Some cars now, if you try to do some of the options, they won't do certain things, but they'll still let you jog a couple things. So they're getting there, but they're still kind of letting you schmooze by with putting a number to it, even if the car is, So that's a problem. But I think we're getting better with it, and I definitely think that tech is starting to cloud people's judgment in the vehicle. And this distraction is almost becoming annoying for people. That's what it's becoming. And then they lose concentration on their driving, and that's when something could happen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, stay right where you are. Brian has given me that sign again that it's time to go to a break, and we'll be right back after this message.
For IT services and data destruction, the JMOR connection should be your direction. Engineer technology to grow your business. Our custom solutions are at your service. JMOR should be your direction. The JMOR connection.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to the JMOR Tech Talk show. That's right. We're live right now if you're listening Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern to 9:57 p.m. Eastern. And for those of you that are just joining us and wondering what our number is, well, we're not giving it to you tonight, and that's because we are in the process of upgrading our phone systems, and that will be done very soon. We're hoping within the next 1 to 2 weeks, and we'll be able to take your calls right on the air. And again, we are doing this whole new digital system, so your calls will go completely from the analog call right to digital, right to our recording system, and it'll be nice, easy, very smooth, and of course, no static. So that's why we're not taking calls. It's not because we don't want to take your calls. It's just we are upgrading our systems. And I definitely want to hand it to our booth and to our engineers that a lot of times don't get the kudos they deserve. So to Brian, Chris, and Mark, I do want to thank them for all the time they spend each week to make sure that our show is a success and helping us with our new soundboard migration, which we just completed about a month ago. I mean, some of you remember we had some audio challenges. We are still going to be upgrading some new mics next year, so we're going to be sounding even better than we are now. I know we sound pretty well, but we're going to be sounding even better now that we're at HD voice, and we're going to be getting microphones that have an even higher but a pickup ratio that has a more sensitivity range, so you'll be able to hear even more of the dynamics in my voice and the different people we have in our studio. So that's why we're not taking your calls right now, if you're wondering. Well, we're talking tonight about technology, as we always do, but one of the things we're talking about tonight is cars, and our manufacturers, and let's just not talk about cars, are manufacturers developing technology that are distracting us, like in cars, is it distracting our drivers? And I have to say, yes, they are. There's a responsibility that we have, yes, but there's also a responsibility to the manufacturers to not entice us or give us things like this that could tempt us. That's the way I feel. And even things like Apple's iPhone, I mean, you're probably saying, gee, what's the issue with that? Well, the issue with that is, yes, there's a responsibility. Now, we're not just talking about distracting, and they put stuff in there like we talked about, the do not disturb, and make sure you can't do certain things when you're driving. That's great that they did that. But when we talk about responsibility, and we talk about manufacturers' global responsibility to the world at large, don't you think it's probably a requirement that the manufacturers should, I don't know, make sure a phone doesn't blow up, or make sure a battery doesn't explode, or make sure acid doesn't leak out of your phone? I mean, you buy one of these. I just bought a new Camelback because I do a lot of hiking, and so there's nothing technical there, but in the new version, they actually came out with something. But I wanted to let you know that there is this thing, because this new Camelback has the thing where you can actually plug the cable in very easily and very simply. That's how they did it now. And it's amazing because this new cable, you don't have to, you can actually take it out in one clip. They made it better. They made the technology better. But don't you think it's important that not only did they make it antimicrobial, bacteria-friendly, so that the bacteria won't grow on there, safe, and also, what's the most important thing of a water bladder? Well, it's got to be safe, right? It's got to be easy to use, but it's got to not leak, right? I mean, we laugh about this, but it's got to not leak. So to have a requirement that your phone doesn't explode, well, I know we're laughing about that, but it's serious. I mean, when you talk about a carrier, whether it's FedEx, whether it's DHL, whether it's UPS, whether it's mom and dad's or mom and pop's delivery service, don't you think it's important that they get the package there in one piece? I mean, really, right? They have to get the package there in one piece. Or is that extra? It reminds me of a sign a long time ago that I saw, and the sign went like this. If you want an answer, answers are 25 cents. Okay? So the first sign was if you just want a plain old dumb answer, it's 25 cents. If you want a correct answer, if you want an answer that requires thought, that's 50 cents. If you would like a polite answer with thought, that's 75 cents. Okay? If you would like a correct, polite answer with thought, it's $1. And if you want an answer that is correct, polite, and able to lead into more questions, that's $5. And dumb looks, well, they're still just free. I know that sounds crazy, but when we talk about technology, and don't just think of technology as computers. Technology could be your plumbing. Technology is a broad term. Technology could be your lighting system. Technology can be how you've arranged your seats in your theater. Ultimately, technology has some software or hardware component that tracks or helps us manage something. But technology itself is about improving the quality of something to make it better. And usually that automates a process. So by using better technology, we are able to manufacture a Camelback for less money that has quick release fittings, so it's easier to take in and out of the bag. So again, I think what's happening with a lot of these manufacturers is they're like, oh, gee, let's make a lot of money off of this, right? Let's just get this to market. They don't realize the social implications that they are potentially inflicting on our world. Until, you heard what I said before, nobody seems to take responsibility until one thing, and I've said it many times before, until we hit them in the pocketbook, till we hit them where it counts, we hit them with their wallet. When we start charging vendors money or manufacturers money for not doing the right thing, they suddenly become interested in wanting to do the right thing. I don't know about you, but I think there's something wrong with that picture. Being in a technology business for over 24 years, I want to make sure we always do the right thing. Not because we have to, but because we want to. We want to improve the quality of people's lives. We don't want to aggravate them. We don't want to frustrate them. We want to improve the quality of our life. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and I said, the challenge with our world today is this. People go out there every day and they get jobs, okay? And the jobs they get, the most people that are graduating college now have between, and even some of them are millennials, they'll hold between 3 to 7 jobs in their lifetime. And I told you reasons. Some there's attitudes, there's lots of different reasons. But the main reason, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of these students coming out of school don't hold a job very long, it's because they're not doing what they're passionate about. When my day ends at the office, I love talking about technology. I get fueled about it. I talk to some other people that do technology for a living, and they don't even want to hear about a router. They don't even want to hear about a network. Oh, I don't want to hear about that. They're so burned out because they don't like technology. They're finding technology work because they're not passionate about it. They're doing technology for one reason, and I got to tell you, it is the wrong reason. They're doing it because they're getting a paycheck. That's the only reason they're hooking up cables. It's the only reason they're removing viruses. It's not because they care about businesses. It's not because they care about clients. They're doing it because they get a paycheck, and if they don't do it, they don't get a paycheck. They get fired. When the mission of the company stays in executive management, the company is destined to fail, and the employees are destined to be transient and replaced frequently. So, if we could just understand that, it'll make a heck of a lot of difference. People that take jobs today, if they take a job with something they are passionate about, if you love to bake, and baking for you is so timeless, okay? And you can just do whatever you need to do and the day just kind of goes by and you're good at it, the money's going to come. But if you're going into the baking field that goes, hey, you know, I'm really going into accounting, but I can't find accounting jobs, so I think I'll just bake part-time. Or I'll go into baking. It's a good career. I can make some good money as an executive chef. You're going to be stressed out of your freaking mind. And, yeah, you may make some money after you get through culinary school, but you're going to hate your work. And I said this once before. If you take work that tires you out, work that you do because you have to do, you're in a job. If you're doing work because you're enjoying what you're doing, enjoying helping other people, your eyes are lighting up because of the work you're doing and how you're feeling fulfilled, you're not in a job, my friend. You're in a career. And those are the kinds of jobs that when you have offline conversations, like, oh yeah, let's talk about that. A lot of psychology people you talk to, they love talking about psychology even outside of the classroom. Technology people, I know I'm probably one of few that loves to talk about technology outside the workday. So my friends are like, oh, why would you? Oh, I don't want to talk about that stuff anymore. I've been programming routers, I don't care. I said this also to you once before. If you decide that the day you've left high school or college and you enter that job and you choose not to enrich the level of your education and keep growing, you're going to regress. And eventually, people are going to come on and they're going to pass you up. And the people that are really passionate about what they do, if any of those ever come along, you're gone. You are so gone. Even if you are better than they are, you're still gone because your attitude is just going to make it so unworthy and won't make sense for you to continue. And before you know it, you're going to be getting worse at what you were the greatest at because the person that has a great attitude is now starting to take a passion for education. And when you have that passion, the desire, and your eyes light up when you can help people and you can solve their problems, then and only then are you in a career. 98%, or I'm going to say 95% of our world doesn't have careers. They have jobs. That's why most of these people quit their full-time jobs. They get stressed. Things happen in their relationships, and it all happens because of the job. It happens because of the job. People get burned out. They overwork them. I've talked to so many people that work for large consulting companies. I said, what happened? He says, oh, he got burned out. He quit. They were really burning him to the grind. I was like, yeah, that's what they'll do. And they don't care. They just kick you to the curb and they'll get somebody else. Is that a company that you want to work for? Is that a company that you want to hire to do your job? I mean, think about that for a moment. If the people that you hire enjoy what they do. Let's take a pool service business. If they're passionate about learning pools, maybe they've swum in quite a few, they understand a little about pool maintenance, they got a good attitude, and they're passionate, they're going to soak up the knowledge from you like a sponge. They're going to soak it up more than somebody that has a great education. You've heard me talk about foundations, right? Well, there's one thing that can make a foundation very porous to getting in more concrete and making it stiffer and absorbing things, and that is passion. So yes, having a good education is great, but even if you have a little bit of education, you've heard me say this, and you have passion in that little bit of education, well, that little ounce of education can grow immensely. All because, remember, education starts with a good foundation, passion, more learning, more concreting, and before you know it, you're pretty smart in that one field. People say to you, how'd you get so smart in that field? I don't know. People ask me all the time, how do you know what you know? And I tell people this every day, and they laugh. And I said, it's not because of my education in school. It's because of my passion and my desire to do what I like to do every day. I love getting up every day, love knowing there's going to be a technology challenge, loving knowing that I'm going to be able to help somebody. That is like so amazing to me. And if you're going to go to that bakery and you're going to say, oh gosh, I got to bake again, I got to get the flour. And if that's how your attitude is, okay, get out of that job. Because that's what it is. It's a job for you. And if you find it hard that you have to measure things and it's an effort for you, then get out of that job. If you find assembling cables or punching cables or writing software or training people, whatever it is, if you can't find one area in technology that you really get passionate about, because not everybody's going to be passionate about everything, I get it, but you got to have one area that fuels you, one area that when clients see you in that area, they know your eyes light up and they know, not only do you know what you're doing, but they know that you have a passion and that's why you're so good at it. You might have heard this before when we talk about football players, basketball players. What do they say? How many hours do you practice? You know what they say? I don't know. They don't know. They don't know. But if you really sat down and added all the hours up, it would be immense. See, when you're so passionate about something, you stop counting the time it takes you to be good at something. Because you just want to get better at it. And those are the kind of techs that you want on your team. Those are the kind of people that you want to be part of your empire. And if you don't have those kind of people working for you, then you need to keep looking. Because they're out there. But that kind of breed requires management that treats them with the highest level of quality and respect and appreciation. That's what it's about. I know we've come a lot of circles here. So a few more things about the tech. We always go all around. I think the other point that I probably want to bring to your attention, talking about, this is that Yahoo, for example, had a breach where they had 2 to 3 billion accounts, almost all their stuff. And for those who didn't know, not too long ago, but Yahoo was actually purchased. Did you know this? Yahoo was purchased by, anybody know who it was purchased by? I see a few people in the chat. Anybody know who Yahoo was purchased by? Yup. Verizon completed the acquisition of Yahoo on April 18th, ladies and gentlemen, 2017. $4.83 billion. Almost a year ago. Yahoo, actually, and AOL are supposed to form a brand new company, by the way. I don't know if you knew this, called Oath. Called Oath. O-A-T-H. And when you combine two of the most iconic internet brands, what are you going to get? You're going to get a very amazing. You're going to get an amazing corporate name. That's really what you're going to get. And so Verizon got this, okay? And other companies have got this, like Cisco. If you don't have the resources that you need two things to do things in business. One, you either need a lot of time, okay, to get something accomplished, or you need a lot of money. If you have a lot of money, you don't need so much time because you can pay people and man hours can be multiplied and exponentially. If you don't have a lot of money, then you need to have a lot of time and do a lot of stuff yourself, and things are going to cost you a lot less, but you're going to be doing a lot of work. Verizon understood this. Time Warner understands this. Cisco's understood this. If you don't have a resource, find out what resource you're missing and go get it. And if you have all the money you need and you need to go buy a resource, that's why these companies go buy off other companies, because they're good at something. Why did Verizon buy Yahoo? Because they're an iconic brand. When you take an AOL, why did they buy them? So they're building this new company called Oath. And the company Oath is going to make a difference. You're probably saying, so what is the Oath Verizon company, if you're wondering about that? Well, Oath, it's an American company. It's a fully owned subsidiary of the Verizon Communications Media and Telematics Division, and it will be the parent company of its subdivisions of AOL and Yahoo. And guess what they're going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen? Media and telematics. So they're going to be the places, ladies and gentlemen, and guess what they're going to specialize in? They're going to specialize in the branch of information technology that deals with the long-distance transmission of computerized information. What is that in short, ladies and gentlemen? It's really simple. They're the people that are going to get your attention out there. When you go to a website, they're going to serve social media. They're going to put websites up there. They are going to captivate you passively and actively to interact with their content to purchase things from their advertisers. And they're going to charge their advertisers a boatload of money. That's where it's going, ladies and gentlemen. That's where it's going. Why is Google suddenly coming up with their own little cylindrical device similar to the Alexa? They realized it was power. Why is it Amazon right now has the Amazon Fresh? Well, why is Google working with Walmart? Amazon wouldn't work with Walmart. So Amazon said, the heck, so Walmart said, the heck with you. We'll work with Google. And they're trying to monopolize the first online e-store to be better than Amazon. So it's going to be this large, very high-end competition for competitive data. And that's what it's going to be at. And it's not, in the end, who has the most money. The most important thing to who gets the most money in the end is who has the resources and the know-how and the channels to captivate our listeners and our audience. Those that have that are the ones that are going to be making the change in the world. And they're the ones that can build their own theater or build their own universe. Right? That's what it's about. You heard the phrase before, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. That's what they're doing. They're captivating the tools to learn how to fish. And once they know how to fish to get you, they'll keep eating for billions and billions for a lifetime. It's the same thing as the fish story, only they're doing it with billions of dollars. So that's what's making these companies get to the top. It's buying time in your brain, which they're paying lots of money for, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to brand other small companies, but they're charging them lots of money. Lots of money. And by them doing that, they feel that they can pretty much go to anyone that needs them. They're trying to do what Google did, right? With the keyword, they're trying to do that in a whole different way. They're trying to become a media agency and getting your ads placed. You see, TV is kind of changed. People aren't buying ads on TV anymore, ladies and gentlemen, except for the Super Bowl, like $4 or $5 billion for 30 seconds. People are buying ads on mobile media, websites, cell phones. They're not even buying them on billboards that much anymore. They're buying them on the internet. They're buying them on mobile because that's where people get their information every day. That's where they get it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great show. I need to run. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
From all of us at the JMOR Connection Incorporated, we'd like to thank you for listening and invite you to join us again next Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to tell your friends, colleagues, and associates about the JMOR Tech Talk Show. We're here every Thursday night on the Starcom Radio Network at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you missed any of our shows, you can just walk on over to JMOR.com, click on social, and then under JMOR Radio, just click on previously recorded episodes. We'll see you next Thursday night at 9 p.m. Have a great week.